Good night, good night, good night, good night, everybody. Blessings, my family. Welcome back to another episode of the All Over It podcast. Today, October 6th, 2025. Blessings, blessings, blessings. As always, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you for being here. We growing. More subscribers, more listeners, more love every week. And I appreciate all of it. I appreciate every one of you. Real talk. Love alone. Remember, we're pushing for that 1,000 subscribers goal on YouTube. So if you're vibing with the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share episodes. Drop something in the chat so I can shout you out live. I love hearing from all of you. You see, Chauvin. Oh, Mr. St. Martin, countryman. Yeah. Shout out to my boy Chauvin Frederick in the chat one time. Appreciate the love and support, my brother. Real talk. Love alone. Just realize something there. Let me fix something there. Yes. Amen. But yeah, like I said, I love hearing from you. So leave a comment in the chat. Once you leave a comment, then I'll shout you out, because then I'll know you're there. Being as I'm on this platform, I don't see who all on the live. So the only way for me to know that you there is if you leave a comment for me. And I love the interaction anyway. So yeah, win-win for everybody, I think. But yeah, today we closing out the financial literacy series officially with a full debrief. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about everything, the whole financial literacy series, all the different topics from mindset to money management, real estate, record keeping. We touched a lot of ground, but I here to reinforce those gems, and before we move on, remind everybody that, yeah, although it may be a lot of ground that we covered, remember Rome was not built in a day. So all of us learning, it takes daily, piece by piece, added, like trying a penny in a cup every day. By the time we're going to be full, or a drop in the bucket. Like a good example, I've been catching my AC water nowadays, and it'll be one drip, but before the day out, 5 gallon container full. But yeah, shout out Clem in the chat. My boy Clem, our last week's episode interviewee, him and his wife was on for our life insurance episode. So if you don't see that one yet, trust and believe that was a great one. Clem and Shanita gave some gems, not just about life insurance, but also about managing your wealth in general, and just having the right mindset and following the right procedures to build and maintain wealth. Let me say like that. So yeah, great episode if you don't see it yet. And I'll touch on it a little bit, but before we get into the debrief, I can give you a short motivational message. Being as all these episodes, we've been just hitting it straight. We've been going right into the info. So today, I just want to give you a little motivation. Just a short little motivational message. And today, I want to tell you, learning about money isn't just about numbers. It's about discipline. Discipline is a strong thing, a powerful thing. But with it also comes clarity and vision. When you stay disciplined, you start to see things better, and also even start to see things before it even manifests. You manifest things for your own self. So financial literacy isn't a one-time course, it's a lifestyle. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Just like I said just now, we covered a lot of ground, but don't feel like you have to just watch the episode and consume everything one time. No, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step you make, whether it's tracking your expenses, investing a few dollars, or setting a new goal for yourself, whatever it is, it puts you closer to freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of lifestyle, freedom of life, period. So today, as we look back, let's look back on what we learned and how to apply it for real, and not just say, okay, what was said sounds good, but let's really apply it. Like I just say, knowledge is power, but the application of knowledge is where the power truly lies. So that's my motivational message for you today. And just remember, with discipline, clarity, and vision, you could do anything. You could make anything happen. So that's my motivational message for you today. I feel like, yeah, that was on my heart. I had to tell you that. So thank you for listening to my motivational message here today. As we continue, I can get straight into the main debrief because a lot of ground to cover, and today I won't dive into everything because we already did that. We really dig deep. We uncovered it all these past couple of weeks. So I going just really touch and reinforce some key points and just like bring it back like a little refresher, like, yeah, well, this is what we talk about. Remember this key point. Hey, look at this. And then, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. So I'm gonna keep you all night tonight. I promise you that. And don't worry, even though it's the same information technically, I still got a good one in store for you. But after last week episode was hot. So I say, today gonna be a more cool down. Let me take it like today. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So like I say, I started this financial literacy journey some weeks ago. And when I started this journey, I let me change it a little bit. Yep, rather. When I started this journey at episode 13, actually, so 10 episodes ago, I started with this PowerPoint, which, as you can see, this is the main yes, as you can see, this is the main topics I covered. When I started, I gave this agenda, which I gave an introduction about financial literacy. Then I moved on to my personal story, my personal experiences, And what got me on this journey and what made me even decide to do this financial literacy series. Then I moved on to mindset shift, which is a very necessary thing. But I can touch on all of that. Then I moved on to the various financial investment avenues, which was seen in the slide that was up just now. After that, we touched on insurances, which was last week's episode. I also did about business, whether startup or purchasing an established business, different options. And also record keeping, because you have to make sure, keep track of what you're doing, whether it be your financial records, whether it be maybe journals, or even keeping your different, let's say, business or personal documents together for, let's say, tax reasons or whatever purpose necessary. Record keeping is a very important thing. So like I said, this was a slideshow that we showed, and yeah, the key part was the financial investment avenues, which we touched on: real estate, like I said, investing in startups or established businesses, investing in stocks, which mainly buy and hold. Then I talked about dividends investing, talked about trading, and then gold and other commodities. Those were the key topics that we covered during this financial literacy series. Now, see, Clem said, that's personal growth. Love it. See, yeah, bro. I will tell you everything. Yeah, because how I see it, and even like I mentioned, how I structured this podcast, it's like a build up technically. So I actually started episode 1 about me, getting to know me. Let people know who's the person that they're really gonna be hearing talking about all these different things, why I feel like I know about all these different things, all of that good stuff. Then I moved on. I talked about different educational topics, maybe about goals and investing in yourself. So, like I said, I started there because, in my opinion, before you could go and look for any type of wealth, whatever avenue you see here, whichever one resonates deeply with you, before you could go and get anything, you have to get your mind right first. And that's why, like I say, before I even start on investing in all these assets, I talked about investing in yourself first. Yeah. Then investing in your future. And now look, we're talking about all type of investments now. And actually thinking about doing like real examples. Maybe a series about like real examples. But anyways, besides the point. Anyways, going back to the debrief. So as I mentioned, we covered these various topics over the duration of the weeks, and this is actually where we are now. Like I said, last week's episode, Securing Your Future, the truth about life insurance with Clem and Shanita. Great episode. Trust and believe. Gems, just diamonds. Telling you. Anyways, so to move back, going back in time a little bit, we're going back to episode 13. So like I mentioned, episode 13 was financial literacy, the real flex, where I did an overview sharing the PowerPoint that I just showed, and I shared some web pages and some information, just some knowledge in general about financial literacy from a broad perspective. So, episode 13 was the start. Once I did that as an overview, then I moved on to the next episode, episode 14. Change your mind, change your money. Understand? Change your mind, change your money. You got to get your mind right first. If your mind ain't in the right place, all the goals, all the plans you have for yourself ain't going nowhere. Mindset is the foundation of all wealth. You can't build financial success with a scarcity mindset. So, in the mindset episode, I talked about fixed versus growth mindset. Whereas, basically, the gist of it, to say in simple terms, is when you have a fixed mindset, you're not open to possibilities, you don't see what could happen, you're not planning, you're not progressing because you feel like, okay, this is all that life has to offer you. However, when you have a growth mindset, it's a different ball game. It's like 180. It's like now, like they just say, some people that say, I can't do this. But when you have a growth mindset, you think, how can I do this? Instead of a closed door, you open that door. You're open to possibilities. No matter how old you are, with a growth mindset, you always open to growing and learning and bettering yourself. And that's the only way you could really advance your finances, advance yourself, advance your life, whether personal, financial, business, anything. So understand, with a growth or abundance mentality, with patience and delayed gratification, you could do anything. Let me just say it like that. So your mindset determines your money moves. That's the simplest quote I could say for you, quick and easy. Your mindset determines your money moves. If your mind ain't right, you ain't gonna get no money. Think of it like this, in simple terms, like put yourself in the shoes. Imagine you have plans to maybe sell some product or some business you're doing, whatever opportunity you have at your fingertips. You have plans for it, but maybe in the back of your mind, you wrestling with like negative thoughts of like, maybe you're thinking about some family feud, or when I say that, I mean maybe you have a fight with like a family of yours, or maybe some type of health complication in your family. I could talk for it. These things just throw you off your game, to say it simply, so you might have all intention to do these things and to be in this direction and move in this direction, but then, like did I say, a spark in the spoke, just come and throw you off. It's like you going on your train track and like just get thrown off the track, and yeah, you could have all the greatest plans and all the greatest moves and money moves, but if your mind ain't right, if your mindset ain't good, ain't, if you don't have a growth mindset, you won't be able to. Your mindset determines your money moves. Simply like that. So change your mind, change your money. That was episode 14, streamed 2 months ago, as YouTube said. Now, episode 15, we went into the financial avenues. Building wealth through real estate. That was a great one. I touched on some good topics in that one. I talked about, this is one topic I had talked about in that episode heavily. Buying a duplex to live in one. So a lot of people let us do that. Some people shy away from it because they say, it's kind of unsafe. If your tenant move out, then you gotta pay the whole thing. But honestly, that's the case even if they wasn't there. Once you decide for yourself, okay, I going to get this asset, you need to set up yourself. Like we talk mindset. You see, Clem drop it again. Let me bring it up for you. Sure. Clem tell it to you. Mindset. You have to have the right mindset. So let me say you decide, okay, I want a real estate property. I see a nice one, good price. Maybe you got some change saved up. You have to set up yourself. You have to plan yourself and make sure you organize everything. Like, okay, yes, you would have your tenant. You never know. Anything could happen. Maybe a tenant need a bigger place, they move out. And you have to organize yourself that if that be the case, you could keep things afloat till you get a next tenant, or maybe you good to keep it going, you know? But whatever it is, you gotta make sure you plan yourself. You see? Like let me say again, fear itself is a mindset issue. Totally agree. Totally agree. And a lot of times you can't approach these things with fear. You have to take risks sometimes. Not telling you to be a risk taker. I ain't no financial advisor, so I ain't telling you what to go do with your money. But in times you have to really move with courage. You have to understand, like, okay, I doing this for my betterment, and it might be a struggle or a sacrifice, but you know what you're sacrificing for. So yeah, like I said in episode 15, which was all about real estate, I touched on this topic very heavily because it's something talked about by a lot of different persons. As you could see, look, even Gordon Ramsay have an episode, Should I Buy a Duplex and Rent the Other Half? Which I did show a snippet of this episode in episode 15. So I showed some snippets from various websites. I showed some articles. I think I showed this one here as well, buying a duplex and renting one side. And yeah, just that is one opportunity a lot of people just take because it's like to an extent kind of living for free, or if you set it up in a certain way, you barely gotta pay anything. But yeah, you gotta really know what you're doing, and it could be risky depending on how you set it up. But with everything, you gotta know what you're getting yourself into, do your homework, do your due diligence, and yeah, you're spending your money, so know what you're doing with it. Moving on, like I talked about in that same episode, we talked about, like I said, buying homes, buying real estate, wherever it is, whether land, whether even a business, because Century 21 is actually, well, two different places in the world, but this is the St. Martin Century 21, which they have this business for sale, which I was covering too. I touched on in the business episode, which was episode 16. But yeah, nice opportunity here. Business for sale, 341,000. But yeah, also if you're interested in real estate in St. Martin, You could go Century 21. They have various realtors here in St. Martin that you could look into. That, yeah, if you're interested in property in St. Martin, whether, let me say, you live in here, or even if you're not from here but you're interested in property, they have options. Century 21, they have Remax, IRE team. They have quite a bit of realtors. And if you want, you could always reach out to me too. I do have some contact of some good real estate agents and realtors that could get you something right up your alley. Yeah. But yeah, so getting right back into it, I think I'll leave you like this for now. That was episode 15, real estate. So I had talked everything real estate. I touched on a lot of different options and opportunities. I even talk about REITs. So if you don't want to invest in it yourself, you rather just invest in a company who going and getting the real estate, and they got REITs, real estate investment trusts. They have stock market options, so like ETFs for real estate and so on. So they have a lot of options. You gotta know what you want to do and just go down in that road, whatever road you see fit for yourself. So moving on, episode 16, unlocking business success. And for me, I love even the title of that episode because it's powerful. That's a powerful episode title. But yeah, that's what we want to do now. All of us, let's be honest. All of us with a business, we want to unlock that business success. We want to know how we could push in that key and open that door that we're making millions and millions, all our team good, community good. Yeah. So in the unlocking business success episode, I touched on, like I said, this same opportunity, I'll call it, because it's actually still up for grabs. This is still on the table. Yeah, we're looking. Yeah, paying for sold it. So yeah, they have this business, a restaurant business for sale in Simpson Bay, which anybody who ain't from St. Martin, I'll tell you, Simpson Bay is one of the nicer areas in St. Martin. Like they tell you in business, location, location, location. Simpson Bay, location. And yeah, I ain't see the condition of it, but for me, for reading the information, it looked like a good opportunity. Would have to go, do your due diligence with everything. Do your due diligence. Check it out. See what it's about. If it's really legit, because some people might give you this nice story and make it look and sound good, but then when you really see behind closed doors or read between the lines, you see like, no, they're saying it. But like I say, for what you're seeing here, it looks good. 200 capacity inside and outside. For sale, close to the main road, turnkey business for sale, prime location, plenty of parking. You get a full kitchen, you get a club license too. Whee, that right there in itself, is grand. Like me, I'll say like this. I don't have the capital right now, but I would look into this and maybe like partner with somebody on this. Good opportunity. But anyways, in that same episode, I talked about this website, Biz Buy and Sell, which have other websites that you could find literal like established businesses for sale, not just like houses and real estate, but yeah, like I even had show for me because I was in Miami. I generally don't look in Miami for Lauderdale area. and then just, filter down, maybe less in the price range, maybe put max like a 500,000, and do little things, go through, see what they have to offer. I was not trying to click you. But yeah, businesses are kind of business, wherever you want. Cell phone repair, textile and apparel manufacturer. Yeah, you see, you could get signed up as well. You want to be a beauty salon, you want a restaurant, you want cash flowing industrial yard space, whatever you want to be, whatever kind of business you aspire to open or be a owner of, you don't have to even open it yourself sometimes, like start from scratch. You don't have to. You don't have to start up. You could maybe just look for an established business in your industry that you want to go in, that's for sale. Once the numbers look right, you do your due diligence. Make sure you check out everything. Check your financial statements, the financial documents. You get the lawyer to cover your, tracks. Make sure everything looking good. And yeah, look, because I want to really, let me see. I put that. Okay. Something that's, anyways, why I'm doing this is I want to show you like the money. Let me show you the money straight up. Haha, haha, I like it. Power moves alone, bro. Anyways, so just for example, like we say, okay, you could start up your own business, but owning a business that's established is also a great option, and honestly something I personally been looking into, and let me say like a route I say I'll probably be going down. Let me just say it simply like that, because think of it this way: you purchasing a business that don't run in, it don't have its clients, it don't have its suppliers, so they don't have everything set up. They know, let me say if it's a restaurant, let me say a profitable Italian restaurant for sale, good, they're selling it for 785,000, but its cash flow is 250,000. Good, that's a year. Of course, if I click on it, I open it up, it can have more information. It'll have like information about the business, about the area, what it is, all these good stuff about the customers, about the everything. Then it get down to more detailed information, which is what you're getting, the location, inventory, fixtures, the facility, what it is, your employees. They tell you about a competition as well. Then they tell you about the growth and expansion opportunities. So because they have large margin for extension, and it's in an upscale area, so meaning you could raise your margin if you want to. What they say, they'll give you 2 weeks training, and the reason for selling because the person is moving out of the country for the new presidency. That is funny. I find that one hilarious. Like they must be like put that up before like Trump get in. And they checking like, yeah, we gotta sell our business before Trump come. Anyway, so this is important to know, the information, the asking price, the cash flow, and all of this. Good. So as you could see, they're asking you for 785,000, which is negotiable usually. Let me just throw that out there. Now, I mean, when you, let me say, if you have 785,000, you could pay that money and you get that straight out. Or you could go get maybe a loan. So anybody in the US could get like a SBA loan, Small Business Association loan. Usually that's the route many people have taken recently. And also, a lot of these businesses that for sale have seller financing. So you could, let me say, make an agreement with the person selling. So let me say the same person, like I said, they decide, new presidency, they want to move out the country. So they have a reason, they have a genuine reason for them to want to leave. So if you come to them and you tell them, well, look, maybe I ain't got all the money, I willing to pay you, a certain percentage or a certain amount every month, maybe 70% seller financing, and then you could go maybe just look for the other 30% through your bank or whatever, so doing that, the seller, of course, make money, and it take a little ease off for you too, so that's a route that a lot of people does take, but yeah, like I say, imagine you buy this for your 785,000. Now it's making 250,000 cash flow. Now usually cash flow means after expenses, but let me say consider if it making, after you join, maybe you hire a general manager with you. So let me say now 200,000 a year. Good. You could pay this off in a few years. And rightfully, all you'll have to do is come in and manage the place. It's like, the reason why I find this powerful is like you literally just kind of falling in line. So it's like, think of it like this: the train already leaving the track, it already have the passengers, it already have the employees, so the ticket officer, the mechanic, everything, the people, the whole structure, the whole infrastructure, everything is already laid out. All you have to do now is come and jump in the driver's seat and say, okay, I am now the conductor of this train. Yeah, straight up. And then just manage your money, make sure you pay the bill every month, because it's all about making it simple for yourself, but managing your money. Because you take an opportunity like this, maybe, like I say, 200,000 a year. So let me just call it 240,000. That's 20 grand a month. Yeah. So if rent is 7,366, like it says, then you gotta pay employees, you gotta pay, maybe overhead, whatever other little fees. Then, like I say, maybe you bring on a general manager, so you gotta pay he too, him or her. So by the time you check stock, after you pay your, let me say, the loan for the business itself, let me say maybe the loan might be like 2-3 thousand, maybe four. Let me say four, just for a high number. You check with 20,000, you'll probably have money left back for yourself and everything running smooth. You just gotta manage now, and maybe you don't have to even be hands-on. I ain't telling you be an absentee owner, but if let me say you like somebody like me, who I would, or I aspire to own a business in the US. So maybe I wouldn't always want to be stationed there, but yeah, I'll be able to just set it up, put general manager in place, and then if anything, once I move in back and forth, or maybe even if my back and forth is minimal, I could just touch base, everything running smooth. When I go up there, it's just to go make sure everything running smoothly. If something does happen that I am needed, then I make arrangements to go and handle that. But yeah, for me, I feel like the established business route is so powerful, so powerful, so powerful. So I gave that as an example, but trust and believe. You go on that base buy and sell website, and like I said, they have other ones. So that ain't the only website that you could go on if you want to buy a already established business. But yeah, you see, like, look, the lion wolf mentality tells you moving like a well-oiled machine. Simple, you come in and you just fall in line and just make sure everything running smooth. Plain. So it got so much opportunity for us out there. And that's the thing, like people that say like, yeah, they don't know what to do to make money or they don't know how to get rich. The rich just getting richer, but it's because like it got so much ways to get rich. You just gotta find your way. You gotta figure out which way you want to go and take that road. It got so much options, and that's why I did this financial literacy journey. And honestly, it's so much I still ain't even touch on because I could have talked about crypto and meme coins. I could have talked. Look, today, I had a conversation with one of my friends talking about TikTok and how people making money off of TikTok, which I already know. Content creators making money. Then we say like how are you doing this podcast? People who doing content and things like this are just little videos and like they're making money. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these different platforms, whichever one you think on, you could Google tonight. Whichever one I ain't called. Twitter, X, Thread, they got fan base. All of them paying you for content. Once they see you serious about being a content creator, you could make money after that. Okay? But now the best part is today's conversation was not about that. Because like I say, I know that like YouTube and all these platforms paying people billions of dollars a year, a quarter for making videos and things because that's keeping people engaged on their platform. But we had a conversation, he and tell me like, yeah, well, people now what they doing, they battling. And like how on certain platforms you could send stars or you could send likes and all these things. On TikTok, you could send like galaxy and all these different things. And it's basically just like coins, like people literally taking their coins, putting it in TikTok, and then sending to you. So you now making money just by your, apart from TikTok, wherever maybe AdSense program they got or whatever, content creator loyalty or agreement program they have. Apart from that, they have two that you could make money by people sending you, like we say, like stars and all these different things. And like he was showing me, like, yeah, this one is $250 and this one is 100, and I checking like, yeah, and these people like literally while he telling it to me, somebody who was watching live get one that was like 31,000 coins. When he showed it to me, like I say, okay, let me just say like this: $20 is 1,400 coins, or 1,400. Good. The 251, can't remember exactly how much it was, But just so you could get an idea, like people spending they hard on money, on sending you just for watching big platform, well, the video. I can't even say big platform. Sorry, my correction. But I digress a little bit because I just had to say, like, I got so much ways to make money nowadays, and like I said, that's why I do this podcast series, because I wanted to show people, like, look, okay, maybe things might be rough right now, but there is a way. There is always a way. And it's now for you to figure out your way. And that's why I say it starts in here. Mindset. Gotta get your mind right first. Then you could say, okay, cool. What I could do, you know what? I'll ever talk about this dividends thing. I mind taking a $10 or $50 every month and putting it towards that. That might hurt me. Whatever it be, you say to yourself, you know what? Real estate look like the option for me now. I think by myself or build an apartment complex, or let me say here in St. Martin, they got fixer uppers that could buy, like if you're in the US for sure, you got all kind of fixer uppers, man. They got show about it and all. Whatever your choice be, find whatever greatness lies within you and nurture it. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the simplest way I could say it. Like, find whatever greatness is within you and nurture it. Allow it to blossom and bloom. Yeah. But yeah, we talk about business ownership last. And like I said, that was episode 16. We talk about unlocking business success. Whereas I talk about ownership, freedom through ownership, controlling your time and your earning potential. Because yeah, having a job is cool, steady money. But what? When you got business, only the sky, the moon, the stars is the limit. You could do whatever you want. You could reach whatever you want to make in a month, whatever you want to make in a day is your choice. It's what you put in and what you put out. So, like I say, business and even purchasing the established business is a great option to create multiple streams of income, especially doing that quickly. Let me say like that, because yeah, starting a business is nice, and it takes a lot of work. Let me just say like that. And usually they just say like the business ain't really established until it's like 3 years, 3 to 5 years. Then you could say like you have a real established business, not a startup, not a. But yeah, gotta really work when it's a startup. So if you want to kind of, I guess this is like a loophole. That one is like a cheat code. So yeah, but yeah, whatever it is, you gotta create multiple streams, document your operations, and build systems. Especially for me, I all about automation, and that's why I push in AI so hard. And don't worry, we're gonna talk about all of that too. But yeah, I build in my business right now, and when it comes to building a business from scratch, starting up a business, you gotta really know what you're doing, and it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different factors you have to take into consideration, a lot of different things you have to look at and consider. So if you could bypass that, or if you want to bypass that, I give you some options in episode 16. Check it out. Anyways, yeah, last thing I can say on that, don't just work in a business, build one that can work without you. So even if you start up your own business, don't just give yourself another job. You know, build something. Maybe in the beginning, yeah, you're gonna have to be hands-on, steady, but try to build it automated process, streamlined so that everything could move kosher. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Episode 17. That was a good one. That was a great one. Look, that was love self now. Hey. Episode 17 was the first interview on the All Over It podcast. And I spoke about dividends straight. So I had Josiah Williams, who actually is my uncle. God bless. He lives in Canada. He's been living in Canada since like the 80s, and he worked in TD Bank for some years, retired, I think like around 2015, to my knowledge exactly. And since then, he's been doing his own DIY dividend investing. So he strictly focused on ETFs and yeah, dividend paying. That is it. Dividend paying ETFs, So like I say, was a great episode, and yeah, trust and believe you would want to go back and check it out. So like I say, talking dividends interview with Josiah Williams, my uncle. Big up uncle one time. Love and blessings. And yeah, trust and believe he gave some good gems in that interview. Like I say, talk about his DIY investing journey. He talk about his investing with a financial planner, which, as he say, sometimes it'll be good, sometimes it'll be bad. Which good ones, but his experience wasn't so sweet. So yeah, if you want to hear about it, check it out. But one thing we touch on in the end of the episode too is some tips. So we provided some practical tips for you. Some simple tips, like for instance, yeah, start small. You don't have to start with 100, a million, $1,000. No, you could start with $10, even $10 in a dividend ETF adds up over time. And I could tell you because, like I mentioned, when I started my dividend investing journey specifically, my first investment was $14.37 because that was in my buying power and Robinhood. When I finally get back access, and since then, right now, I'm making more than $14 in dividends. So yeah, proper thing. I got over 100 shares in QYLD. I got about 50 shares in PEY. Both of those is dividend paying ETFs. I also been looking into a few others. I want to give away everything. But I did buy a few, like, I start small, like a little $50 in SPYI and QQQI. So for those who know about the market, they'll know what I'm talking about. SPY is basically the S&P 500, and QQQ is one of the main indexes, main ETFs. Yeah, big dog things there. But yeah, those QQI and SPYI are ETFs that track these different indexes. So just a little quick info. But anyways, like I said, in that episode, we talked all about dividends, We gave you some tips, so check it out. Check it out. If you haven't as yet. Let me also add this video here from, well, Dividendology, which is a channel on YouTube. Is a great page for you to follow if you interested in dividends, if you want to learn about it, if you want to see what some good ones, or just kind of start to frame your mind around the dividend, seeing what's good one, seeing what to look for and these type thing. Dividendology is a good channel. Oliver Williams channel as well, All Over It podcast, where you could learn a lot. But yeah, Dividendology, you can check it out, see what's going on. You know, they have a lot of information strictly about dividends, but this specific episode from them or video, which is how to build a dividend tsunami in 2025, Dividend Investing Masterclass, is a great watch. It gives you an explanation about dividends. It show you like how it'll work. It give you like some charts and numbers and thing. Yeah, big up yourself one time, Cisco. Shout out my boy Cisco one time in the chat. You don't know. Appreciate the vibes, my brother. But yeah, Dividendology. Want to learn anything dividends? Check out that. They even give you like ideas or like spreadsheets to track your dividends, everything. So yeah, if you're interested in dividends and them thing, check that out. Good stuff. You know, but yeah, let me I got a question before I continue to the next one that we had covered, which is for my recurring viewers and my viewers that have been rocking with me from the start. I'll ask you, which episode taught you the most? Which one of them really resonated deeply with you? I would like to know. And so leave a little comment in the chat. Let me know, which one you had liked, which one you had tuned into when you see maybe the post, or maybe you see what it's about. You say, wow, okay, I like this one. This topic look like me. Talk to me. Which one? Which episode taught you the most during this series? And I'm curious to know if anybody start investing or trading since we started this series. I really want to know those two things. So anybody start investing or trading since we started this series, and which episode taught you the most this season? Leave a comment. But yeah. We're doing things that I feel sometimes like I'm doing God's work. But yeah, like I say, episode 17 was all about dividends. After that, we moved on to mastering the markets, stocks and trading explained, which honestly, this wasn't the first episode where I talk about stocks and trading. And I show trading view long episodes before this. I show my investing journey. I show all these different things long before this episode. But episode 18 was all about the market, trading, stocks, everything, all about that stuff. So I talk about differentiating trading versus buy and hold or long term growth or wealth generation. I reinforced the need for risk management and the need for patience and consistency. I really touch on a lot of different things in that. I gave like terminologies, so breakdowns of terms and different things. So if you're interested in stocks, whether investing for long term, whether you use a, a leap investor, or if you use a day trader or a swing trader or a leap trader, whatever it be, you could learn something in episode 18. Trust me, whether you're doing it already, whether you're new to it, episode 18 there for you. Trust and believe. And yeah, one thing I'll encourage you when it comes to trading slash investing, keep learning. If you have to, paper trade before you risk real money, because I think the one key thing I have to say with trading and well, I'll say specifically trading, investing a little bit too, but trading a lot more was it's a very emotional game. You really have to have your emotions in check to be a trader. So that is something that you'll have to practice and get used to seeing things going in the red and you not bat an eye, So that's why usually a paper trading account would be helpful, because then you could start to learn the steps, start to learn your strategy, start to see what works for you. And then once you start to see like, okay, what I doing working, then you could say, okay, let me move on to a real account. So, but yeah, like I say, mastering the market, stocks and trading explained. All over it podcast episode 18 was all about stocks and trading. And yeah, trust and believe. I cover some good information in that. I talk about where I start from. I share books and resources that I, let me say, use to build myself, to learn the market, to learn the charts, learn the candles. I talk about the candlestick Bible. I talk about the trade technical analysis book by John Murphy. I even show a YouTube video series about that specific book. So for those people who check in, they don't want to read it, they got video series too. So honestly, they don't have no excuse. No, for sure not. Like, I'll ever give you all the game. I'll ever give you, man, cherry on top and all. Straight. So yeah, like I said, I talk about mastering the markets, and I had touch on various different things, but I really talk about getting your mind into the trading. Like I say, I show some platforms that I follow, like Schwab Network, like YouTube Finance, Yahoo, sorry, watching YouTube. Yahoo Finance, even CNBC Finance, great, great platforms for you to see what's going on, keep abreast of what's going on in the markets, the financial markets, but also, they have a lot of resources to educate yourself and just build yourself in the trading and stock market arena. So I have something to talk about and that a little later too. But yeah, like I said, episode 18, all about trading and stocks. Like I say, one thing I gotta reinforce: risk management. Also, stop loss, take profit. Make sure you use them. I could tell you from experience, without that stop loss, your heart is in your rear end. I ain't want, cuss on the YouTube live, so I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but yeah, just know when you're A double, Yeah, your heart down there when you're gonna stop loss and you're checking, what? It's going down, why? Got your head, you start thinking to yourself, like, why, what I want to do now? Like, do I want, like, just close it out and take that loss, or do I believe or have faith that she gonna turn around, But if you know what you're doing, you don't have to worry. You're gonna know your strategy, you're gonna know your setup, and you're gonna know for sure that is a winner, even if it go against you for a little while, So yeah, check out that episode 18 for you to gain some more insight. If you're new to stocks and trading, you can watch that episode and give you a good understanding, a good platform. That in the first episode, like I say, but that one there can give you a nice start from nothing to something. Yeah. Moving on, investing in gold, the king of commodities. I don't think I should say is my favorite episode so far. I think I'll end up saying that like a lot over this, podcast duration. But yeah, but I love a goal. So, anybody know me, we love a goal. Know me and my dogs, them. See Martin, man. You want to see Martin, man. Goal out, goal down. Yeah. A lot of man I know. All four fingers, both hands, 3, 4, 5 chains. Yeah, goal. Real gold. Let me make sure specify that because a lot of man will go get fake gold. But anyways, yeah, if you want to learn about investing in gold, all type of different ways, trust and believe. Investing in gold, the king of commodities, episode 19. Trust and believe. You're going to want to see that episode, especially after what I'm going to tell you here now. Look, you know what amazed me? Last week episode, after I come off the episode, I end up on a call with one of my friends, and we was talking because we were trade, one of my trading friends, good. And we was talking about gold because I actually had mentioned in one of the previous episodes that me and he had a conversation about gold, how it is traded. He didn't used to trade it at the time. And checking like, yeah. Long story short, we was talking about it at night and checking, yeah, he put in a trade, he makes some money, a couple hundred, quick. Literally, it's like we was on the phone talking about it. We wrap up the phone call. I went deal with something else, and within an hour, he messaged me checking like, yeah, he just make a couple hundred off of that gold sell. Check, good. Last week, we was talking, same person who was talking after the last All Over It podcast episode. And what amazed me is this. In the episode, so I have the episode here open actually. All Over It podcast, episode 19, investing in gold, the king of commodities. At around an hour and 25 minutes, I spoke about, I showed this screen. Matter of fact, let me bring this full screen so you could see exactly what I'm showing you. So if you could see here, I know maybe, I don't know if I could zoom in, maybe not. Anyways, if you could see good, it show here, gold is XAU for anybody who don't know. That's like the goal is XA, and on the market, trading XAU USD. Good. They have other options which I talk about in the episode, but in this episode, 3 weeks ago, gold was 3,638 and 68 cents. That's while I was on the episode. And keep in mind, while I was on the episode, it rise. So while I was on the episode talking about it, I had this open and it went up maybe about $5-6 right there while I was on the episode. Good. Now, keep in mind, this is 3 weeks ago. Let me go back again so you could see. Episode 19 streamed 3 weeks ago. Good. Right now, gold is $3,971. So understand, from last week it was 3,638. Today, right now, it is 3,970. It has risen by $300. Just quick and a cool right there. Bam. What that be? Almost 10%. Quick. 3 weeks. So think on it this way. If you had watched my episode that day and said to yourself, you know what, I put in some money in gold, your money would have increased. Same place where I could tell it to you. Good. Keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. Good. This is not financial advice. I am telling this to you for educational and entertainment, but really informational purposes. Yeah, but understand why I'm telling you. I always tell you, do your due diligence. Make sure if you see anything here or anywhere, not just on All Over It podcast, anywhere you go and you hear somebody talking about something, make sure you do your due diligence. And you could ask all my friends. Oliver is a man, he like verification. Anything you tell him or anything, I like to verify it myself. So I am man, I watching this, so I watching something, they tell me, yeah, go look good. I can go check myself. A good example, a friend of mine sent me a message checking by, yeah, you, yeah, I say education and entertainment. A little bit of entertainment, because I sure the people will be laughing a little bit when they hear me talking. But, but yeah, for sure, educational. But yeah, like I was saying, I know for sure this, I ain't doing this to say like, yeah, do this, put your money here. But I always tell everybody, do your own due diligence, check it out for yourself. And I know I always check things out. Like a friend of mine, he tell me, yeah, check out Ives. And checking, yeah, that would be a good stock to buy and thing and blah, blah, blah. And I check in, look, check it out good first before you go and put your money there. Check. And I check it out. And I ain't gonna lie, you look good. But yeah, just bottom line, you gotta know you're getting yourself into, especially spending your money, you know. So yeah. Anyways, gold right now, $3,970. As you can see, going up a little bit, coming down a little bit, but that's this year's today alone. Understand, if I change this to, let me see amount, you could see how this thing is just rising to the moon. Check. So understand, last 3 weeks ago, 3,638. Today, 3,970. Bam, you see? I was going to say 69, but she went back to 70. That is it. Anyways, going back to the point at hand, check out episode 19, man. I'm telling you, man, I don't be here just talking for talking's sake, you know. I promise you, I come in with good stuff every time. More fire. Look, watch it here. More fire. Yeah, that what we coming with. More fire. Lion. Yeah, conquering lion mentality. Lion wolf mentality. Yes, that is it. But yeah, real talk. Check out episode 19. If you like goal, I literally give you like a full rundown on goal. I give you like a definition, periodic table findings, history. Then I went into ways to invest in it, whether you want to actually have goal, or if you say, you know what, I don't want that exposure, I rather just invest in some type of gold stock. I give you gold ETFs. I give you gold mining stocks. I give you, oh, your Lord, why? Oliver give you everything. Oliver had to do, all Oliver do is give you the gold self. I take the goal and just hand it to you right here on YouTube and Facebook platform. Straight. Real talk. But on a real low, in that episode, I really cover everything you need to know about gold. Anyhow you want to get into gold, you could find it in that episode. Like I talk about bullions. I showed this webpage, JM Bullion, which this is not the only one, but just an example. You could literally go on this page and buy real gold. Hang a lie, the price is gone up, like like the rap song say, the price is going up, the price is gone up, yeah. But you could get whatever you want. If you want to be a gold collector, if you like specific like type of what these things called, like designs or topics. Let me say for me, like I talk about, I have a Lady Liberty on my pendant. So for me, I do like the Lady Liberty coins and things. So if I was to, let me say, purchase coins, I would have probably be purchasing Lady Liberty coins specific, like honestly. But yeah, it's up to you. You could buy the coins, you could buy a bar, you could buy whatever you want right here on JM Bullion. They have other options. I even had show Costco. Costco. You could buy gold from Costco. Most of my American friends have Costco. Just, know how you're buying your gold from Costco. In a sense of it's real, it's legit, but you want no eyes on you. Let me say like that. So, but yeah, gold, everything gold, whatever you want. Like I say, if you rather gold ETFs, if you rather invest in, just the gold shares. I talk about Kinross Gold, KGC. It's KGC or KCG. That's like a gold company, a gold mining company. Man, check out the episode, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's episode 19. Episode 20. Starting on, starting to wrap things up in a sense of protection. So think on it this way. All these previous episodes, you build yourself a nice present. And now, episode 20, you wrap it up. Protection. Yeah. Protecting your assets, securing what you built. So, in episode 20, I talk about asset protection. I talk about various ways to protect your assets, whether it be a trust, whether it be insurance, which that's why I made sure I got Clem and Shanita on last week's episode to just really like bring it home, like really look, and they do just that, like wow, they really bring it home. Anyways, point being, like I say, we went through all of these investment and financial avenues and opportunities. And like I say, maybe you'd go and put some money in gold, and by 3 weeks later, you'd have done see increase. So you'd have done be feeling good. You'd have say, yes, I'm on the right track. And you'd start to say, okay, I start to build my wealth. I'm starting to build my assets. And you got to protect them. You got to know what to do, how to move, how to organize yourself. And protecting your assets is that episode. Whereas I talk about whether it be business structures, so maybe you open LLCs or, different like corporations to protect your assets. Or maybe you do foundations, or like I say, they got trust funds, or they had PFP, private fund, PFT. Sorry, I want to make sure I get the right acronym, but it was basically a private funded trust. And, basically a lot of different options when it comes to protecting your assets. What is all about you. Don't feel like what work for everybody and work for you, or don't feel like it's a one size fits all type vibe. Just like how you to put on clothes, you have to go buy your size, is the same thing. Make sure you go buy your size. You're wearing somebody else's size, looking tacky, out of the way, out of place. No, you gotta get what fits you. Get what's for you. What's for you gonna always be for you. No, nobody can take it, turn it, twist it. What God have in store for you, going to be for you. So remember that. And protect what was made for you. What God decided. Yeah, I ordained that Oliver, that Clem, that Francisco, that whoever God ordained for we gotta make sure we keep it, maintain it, preserve it. And yeah, episode 20 is that way, to protect your assets, securing the wealth that you work so hard to build, securing what you built straight. So moving on, episode 21. Episode 21 was a great one as well. It was just me. I wasn't interviewed. I had no interview, but we touched on some great stuff there. And yeah, in the record keeping episode, one thing I really try to reinforce is that data is clarity, and clarity is power. So like if you had to draw that or do like a visual, it'll be like data equals clarity equals power. Powerful. When you got data, when you keep your records, when you know what's going on, it's powerful. I'm telling you. And I told you in episode 21 the importance of record keeping. Look it right here. All Over It podcast, episode 21, the importance of record keeping. Yes. In that episode, I talk about, of course, record keeping. I gave definition. I gave different options, different ways you could do it, different ways you could set up yourself to do it properly. How people structure themselves, whether in business, whether in personal, whether it's financial tracking and record keeping, whether it's, like I said, business or journaling, whatever it is. I shared some strong stories, some relatable stories, so a reminder to any of my listeners who watched that one, go back and check it out again, because I sure that episode could inspire you. I promise you. I share some stories about my father, 3 stories in particular, which the key point that those stories drove home first was profitability. The second one drove home leverage. And the third one drove home protection. So if you want to hear about how my father had these 3 key points out of these 3 stories, each story touched on each point, so check out episode 21. I'm telling you, good stuff. But yeah, just know, when you're tracking your finances, you're not guessing, you're growing, And I do encourage you, and I'll say go check out the episode, but for sure, I encourage you, if you don't watch it, if you're planning to go watch it, I do want you to, and I do feel like it's gonna be good for you, not for me. But yeah, no matter what, I encourage you daily or weekly, check in on your income, your expenses, and your savings. I recommend daily. Track your expenses daily. But if you want, you could do weekly. That you You track your expenses, and then you sit down weekly and compile everything. But whatever it is, start record keeping. Even if it's a journal, you sit down today and you say, you know what? Today, October 6th, 2025, I wake up feeling funny, but things turn around for the better. And this is what happened. Bap, 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 bap. By the time you check stock, you got a whole story, autobiography. People look back and say, what? Look, this happened in all of our life on this day. So yeah, record keeping, very important, very important. I can't stress that enough. And it, like I say, it could provide you with, of course, profitability. Of course, you could make money because of it, because with data, you could make smart decisions. You could make strategic choices. Yeah. Like my niece to say, make smart choices. Yeah, straight up, and with data, you can do that. And then record keeping provides you with leverage, because people might downplay you or might overlook you, but then when you come with your knowledge and your data, man, look, good stuff in that episode. Trust and believe. To the point I had people coming back to me checking like, yeah, I love that one. Yeah, I gotta go watch that one back. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. And I guess I should say last but not least, because now after this was now the last week's episode. I feel like I need a drum roll for this one. Like, woo, drum roll. Drum roll, drum roll. Yeah. Last week's episode was Securing Your Future, the Truth About Life Insurance. And like I said, that was a powerful episode. Powerful. I can't say nothing else but powerful. Like really, that wasn't gems dropping, that was diamonds. Literally, we take out of the rough and just clean it up and place it on the table and say, look, who wants it? Real talk. Because I ain't like it bringing me joy just thinking about how I telling you last week episode was hot. Fire, man. Yeah. Real talk. I gotta give a drum roll for last week's episode. Edwards for coming on to All Over It podcast episode 22, whereas we talk all about life insurance. We bursted myths. We bursted myths. We gave some, like an explanation of what life insurance is, of course, and give a nice breakdown of the different types, the options you have available to you, what people never thought or knew about life insurance. Long story short, because most people know or think of life insurance as I pay in every month so that when I croak, that my family gets some financial assistance, but it ain't only that, it's not only death benefits, they have life benefits, living benefits as well. They have cash value options as well, whereas you could make compounded increase in your investments. Man. Look, just know that they call compound interest the eighth one of the world, because it's amazing how that'll work. Like it literally does be like a take off. Like once that like really pick up momentum, she just rocket ship it gone. So understand compound interest is powerful, and with the life insurance options with cash value is compounded. No negative exposure. That just uh, I was going to say that just sounds wonderful, but maybe if you don't understand what that means, then it might not to you. But anybody who is an investor, and somebody who really looking to build a have assets and financial you know intelligence and financial literacy, and just want to be a financial literate person, yeah, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, but anyways, really and truly, we broke down, we went through some good stuff, we do some good stuff. Like I say, we do God's work. Last week I feel like I've been doing God's work on this podcast right now, real time, because really and truly I don't really feel like God inspire me to come and deliver the messages I deliver, and to say the honest truth. So it'll be like it is here for who it needs to be here for. Who God intend need to hear these messages, it's going to be heard by them. Trust. So what's for you gonna always be for you. So this message here for you, wherever you be. But yeah, just know that life insurance episode 22, was powerful. My second interview on the podcast, and it comes strong by telling you. Anybody else gotta really come good. No, but honestly, I respect it and I really appreciate it. Clem actually is on here listening right now, and trust and believe, bro, I appreciate it, and it's love alone, and appreciate the support, appreciate love, and just know it's for the culture. All of this is for the people, is for our betterment, for us as a people, not just me, Oliver, not just Clem, not just Shanita, not just Josias, not just whoever it is I talk to, or wherever I go to gain insight or to do research, to do these episodes, whatever it is, just know God is who really inspire all of this. Yeah, God's work. It's for the culture. It's for we. It's for think about me. It's about we. Like I say all the time. So don't feel like Oliver come here to do podcasts because he want to run him out, because he want to chat. Nah. I do it because I feel like somebody need to hear this. Real talk. And I do it because I feel like the person that hearing this or need to hear this, when they hear it, it's going to uplift them and empower them and bring betterment to their life. Check. From inside out. Check, because if you feel good on the inside, that's going to resonate, and you're going to do good on the outside too. Check. A lot of us feel down, feel defeated, feel honestly like imposters on the inside. A lot of us is tell ourselves lies, or let me rephrase that. A lot of us just they say things in confidence, and then later in fear or in doubt we backtrack, or we tell ourselves, no, I can't do that, right? That's not me, that's not for me. But no, you have that confidence, you believe in yourself now and forevermore. Now and in every second. Yes, doubt does always seep in. Yes, negative thoughts does always come. Like I just say, the mind is a battlefield. Wait, my book coming. I am writing a book name, the mind is a battlefield. And it's all about that. It's about how we just wrestle with negative thoughts and just negativity all around us in general. And it's up to us to rise up above that. We have to conquer. We have to be stronger than the negativity that try to come against us and keep us down. You know, it starts in the mind. The mind is a battlefield. You check? So no, that's what it's about. It's about understanding that we wrestle, yes, with a lot of negative thoughts, whether it be maybe you're driving and you start thinking, by what if this happened and an accident happened? Rebuke that. Or what if something happened to a family member of mine? Whatever it be, don't let them thoughts dictate your future. Don't leave those things bring you down. Take away your power. No. Rebuke that and move forward. Figure out a way how to overcome it. Because that's what we is. Solution oriented. Yeah, problem solvers. We just solve the problem. We don't need the problem solved. We straight up. Yeah, straight up. You see? I look. The mind is a battlefield. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong if you want to overcome the negative thoughts that has come. So, like I say, I write a book on that, and you can talk about the negative thoughts that we face. A little bit of, how should I say, a little bit of reference, a little bit of personal experience, and just using it in a way like to show like this is what I went through, what I show other people going through or been through, and how we could overcome. Little key tips and tricks on overcoming it, because we shall overcome. Like that good old. I don't want to call it. I was going to use the wrong term, but yeah, that good old church song. But yeah, going back to it, like I said, episode 22, check it out. We talk about a lot, not just about life insurance, but about like getting your mind right, about starting to put yourself in the right mindset for wealth, and then understand like, look, life insurance is a avenue for wealth, not just debt. Straight. So yeah, we talk about different options, and they really give some deep dive and good information. And if you're interested in life insurance, which I telling you you should be looking into it if you don't have it. I talk about my personal experience with life insurance as well. And just know, be real, I don't have it right now, but I can get myself organized. And yeah, in a situation like this, it'll be like you gotta do it sooner than later. But yeah, so that's my recommendation to you. And trust and believe, I have been recommending it to other people, telling them, look, go listen to that episode. If you don't know about life insurance, understand it's way more than just in debt. Maybe if you having an issue, maybe health or otherwise, may be able to capitalize with that as well. Or let me not say capitalize. Let me say you may be able to use that to your benefit. You may be able to ease the road, which a lot of times the road needs to be eased. Difficulty to come up in life a lot of times, but you need to organize yourself so that when that time comes, you could have grease. Yeah, that you could grease the road. So yeah, episode 22. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I can't say it enough. Real talk. I really can't say it enough. And just know, all good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You want to educate yourself on any of these topics. check out this podcast series. What I'm going to do is I will put the financial literacy series as its own separate playlist on YouTube. So overall, for the financial literacy series, I talk about mindset, ownership, and consistency. Yeah, whatever it is, you gotta stay consistent. Whether you decide, yeah, I'm gonna be a dividend man, whether you say I'm gonna get into real estate, whether you say it's my business I'm going to start or purchase, whatever it is, consistency. You gotta be serious about it. Stick to your plans. Yeah. Straight up. So matter of fact, I have a question for you, anybody listening. What would you like to see financial literacy series wise? Or yes, this is the end of the financial literacy series, but is there any topic about or around financial literacy that was not covered that you would like to see touched on here on this channel? Let me know. Leave a comment and I will see it. Trust me, I can check it out. I gotta check it out. And yeah, but I would probably work on that. So let me know. But yeah, bottom line, whether it's gold, stocks, real estate, or your journaling, everything we talk about in this series comes back to one thing: discipline. You can't manage what you don't measure, and you can't grow what you don't nurture. Simple as that. So financial literacy is how we break the cycles and build legacies. Oh gosh, my boy made me laugh. Oh gosh, oh gosh. My boy say, man, you hit every section of financial literacy. Woo! You see, that's me, perfectionist, verification man. You check? Even though I know or I tell myself already, okay, this is all the different avenues, I still checking like, boy, I wonder if you missed one. And even like, let me show this thing, me and ChatGPT. That's me and ChatGPT, man. Like, look, you sure? Verified. Check back. Give me any suggestions on anything maybe I might miss. Or maybe ask me some questions that would be like good, more detail for this topic, type vibe. Like, gotta be on the ball, man. Got to be on it, man. But yeah, bye bye, Clemson. Yeah, I hate everything. But yeah, if you think on something you want to hear about, maybe, like I say, you're curious to hear about, yeah, how I could make money on TikTok or whatever it is, let me know. Let me know. I'm curious. So what I thinking to do, not like next episode, but I thinking maybe in the next episodes coming to, like I said, do like real world recap or real world experiences or examples. So let me say like we say, okay, we got Chuck who decide he want to invest in real estate and he have this amount of money and this is what he want to do and how we go work it out. Think I can do that. Studying though, I might need a whiteboard for that, like some type of annotation option. But yeah, don't worry, I don't have in mind how I want to approach that. But yeah, don't worry, good stuff always coming out of the All Over It podcast. And the All Over It podcast, we uncovering it all. So yeah, today we recap this financial literacy journey that we've been on from episode 13 to episode 22. Yeah, we started the series months ago, just wanting to understand money better, just wanted to spread the knowledge about wealth and investing. Now look how far we have come. Look, like I say, if you invest in gold, when we had talked about it a couple weeks ago, might have done me up. Telling you. So yeah, look how far we come. And we got so far to go still, Like 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 a freight train. Strategic momentum, that's all about. You check? Strategic momentum. You gotta stick on it. Yeah. Keep hitting the hammer. Keep hitting the hammer. Like I talk about in one of my previous episodes too. I always love that analogy of the one drip, They say even a drip consistently could break a rock. So you imagine you can't break a rock with your hand, you need a hammer or a jackhammer or something, but for drip of water, just keep dripping on a rock consistently over time. That whole rock was up. Powerful. So understand, just takes drip by drip, step by step, brick by brick. Yeah, we getting there, we growing. Like I say, we started out a few weeks ago and look how far we come. I could I could tell people on this podcast increase their knowledge. I got people calling me, checking, yo, I need to get on. I recently helped one of my partners get set up. And yeah, people will be calling me, checking like, yo, what going on? You invest in it? What do you think about this? Yeah, so obviously something stick. But yeah, just know, bottom line, financial literacy isn't just knowledge. It's about empowerment. And that's what this whole podcast is all about. Empowering you, empowering my people. Literally, when I campaign, my slogan was reigniting the fire within St. Martin. And I just still feel like I reigniting that fire within people. It's like waking people up to their true potential. You check? And man, just know it feels so good. So understand, financial literacy is not just knowledge, but also really mainly empowerment. Because when you gain the knowledge, you feel powerful, man. I will tell you, after that knowledge that was shared last week, it was powerful, man. Powerful, powerful, powerful. So I guess my last motivational message I could give to you is keep learning, keep growing, and remember, knowledge isn't just power. Until you apply it. Sure. Knowledge is powerful, but the application of knowledge is where the power truly lies. So stay consistent, stay intentional, and as always, blessings. Don't worry, this is not the end. I gotta let you know. But I just telling you, and I know you check like a closing after recap there for sure. Yeah, but yeah, we had a good episode. We had a good series so far. More great stuff to come, like I always will say. And just know next week I dive in all I dive in all straight into AI. Next week, AI. Talk about AI straight through. So if you don't using Chat GPT, Claude, Perplexity, even Canva, AI, whatever it is, CapCut by AI now, 11 Labs. Trust me, that's so much AI options. They got so much. Whatever you want to do now, they got AI options for you. So I've been using AI so much lately. Well, a while now, and I gotta say, ChatGPT is my best friend now. Trust and believe. I just still use my cabase. I just still use my brain. It doesn't just leave it do everything for me in the sense of I just come to it with some type of content already, and then checking. Okay, let me work with this. Let me work this. Rework this. But yeah, ChatGPT, not just ChatGPT, but no, that one the arrow, my bestie. Yeah, my bestie still. So yeah, on that note, I will be now wrapping up. So like I say, catch me here next week talking all about AI. Look. Mike, let's say I talk to ChatGPT more than I talk to my wife, and she's okay with it. That is it, bro. No, but honestly, like ChatGPT right now has been like a business partner for me. Has been a creativity assistant. Honestly, sometimes like counselor slash therapist, like real talk. They know what they do. Real talk. They know what they do. I know friends of mine who don't like it and they, shy away from it. But trust and believe, if you have ideas, if you have goals, and like how we talk about productivity and these things in this episode and in this series, okay, good. Okay, good. That's great. Anyways, yeah. So like how we talk about productivity and advancing, that's like for me, ChatGPT is like a cheat code right now for productivity advancement. It's like things that you wanted to do that take you weeks, months, long time, you could get it done in. So yeah, like I say next week, I talking all about that, all about that, all about that. But yeah, as I close off, like I say, we here. This was a good foundation. For me, we built a strong foundation here. In my opinion, you go and you watch episode 13 to episode 22. Nobody can stop you. They can't turn you and twist you. You know what's going on. Yeah, you could get some more knowledge, but right there, you got a good foundation. Check. And yeah, from there, it's just go. I gotta tell everybody, if you're serious about investing, if you're serious about these things I talk about, go reach out to me. I offering consulting services just now. So know you're on. Contact me before the price go up. Price not going up already. But yeah, I gotta say blessings, my family, my people. Once again, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Without you is no all over it podcast. So it's love and blessings and appreciation for sure. And just know all these things I sharing is for you. It ain't about me, ain't about we, it's about you. Yeah. Straight up. So on that note, I hope you have a blessed one. Like I say, if you like this content, if you're vibing with it, drop a like, comment, subscribe, share it with somebody who you know is going to like it. Yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend. All over it podcast. We be uncovering it all. And trust me, we dig up everything financial literacy here. You see, Clem, tell it to you. Comprehensive. Or I think I'll do a show just now. Or maybe like a master class. Yeah. Invite Clement, Shanita said, you don't know. So I get all your money together. I mean, the viewers. So I could come and see a great show live. But anyways, I done with all this chatting for tonight. I have a blessed week onwards. Stay blessed. And like I say, financial literacy starts here. So once you get your mind right, you're going to get your pockets right. And on that note, have a blessed one. Have a blessed week ahead. And catch me here next week for the next episode of the All Over It podcast. We are covering it all. Love and blessings.